Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Bibbidi Bobbidi Books. My name is Ellie and this is going to be my birthday book haul. So I recently turned 33 and I had such a lovely birthday. I actually went to a place called Hay-On-Wye in Wales, which is a town that is dedicated to books, a literal book town, so it couldn't be more perfect. I went there with my husband and my family and we had a weekend of book shopping, browsing and just hanging out in this beautiful cottage that my mum kindly arranged for us to stay in. So it was such a lovely weekend and I really enjoyed myself. And of course I did treat myself to a few books because how could I not when I was visiting a literal book town? So I did treat myself to some books, of course, and I was also gifted some books as well very kindly by friends and family. So I do have a bit of a haul for you today and I'm excited to share them with you. And I do also want to include some footage from my trip to Hay-On-Wye just because I had such a lovely time and I did get some clips whilst I was out and about. So I thought I would compile them together into a little bit of a montage in case you are interested in travelling to Hay-On-Wye yourself and you want a little bit of inspiration, you want to see a little bit of what it's like. If you want to skip past it and go straight to the book haul, that's absolutely fine. I will put a timestamp on the screen for you so you can jump ahead. If not, I will catch you in a little while and I hope you enjoy seeing a little bit of Hay-On-Wye. Honestly, we had such a lovely time. I hope that kind of gave you a little bit of an idea for what it was like because it was such a cute little town. So many cute little streets, cute little boutiques to go and check out, cute little cafes. They had a castle and it was just, such a lovely time. I highly recommend for you to go and check it out if you're interested. So yeah, anyway, moving on to the book haul, let's get stuck in. The first thing I want to share with you quickly though is this tote bag because I actually got this from one of the bookstores in Hay-On-Wye. After I bought some books from them, they kindly gave me this little tote as a free little memento, which is so cute. It says, "May contain books, Hay-On-Wye," and I just love that because whenever I'm carrying a tote bag, you can be sure that it may well contain books. So yeah, I just thought that was so cute and I wanted to share that with you. Now on to the actual books. So these are going to be in no particular order. Some of these I picked up and bought myself from Hay-On-Wye, some were gifts. It's a bit of a mishmash, but we're just going to dive straight in with this chunky beast. So this is of course House of Leaves, written by Mark Z. Danielski. I'm really sorry if I'm pronouncing that name wrong, but House of Leaves is a book that I have been wanting to read for a really long time, and I have been hugely intimidated by it, but also hugely intrigued by it. And I just finally decided to take the plunge and get this. It was partly my brother's fault because my brother was with us and he has read this book and said that he really, really enjoyed it and he thinks that I would too. So he kind of twisted my arm a little bit and convinced me to finally take the plunge and to try out this chunky book. I don't know a huge amount about this one other than, of course, that everyone says that it is a labyrinth, literally. So it is about a labyrinthine house. It's about people getting lost in the house, as far as I'm aware, and the presentation of the book also makes the reader feel as if they are lost on the way as well, because it is so strange the way that it is formatted. I don't know if you can see just from me flicking through, but the words on the page are like edited in a really interesting and strange, bizarre way. So it's a really sort of interactive reading experience. I think there's parts of it where you need like a mirror to read the writing because it's written backwards and things like that, and you have to sort of turn the pages around. So it seems like a really interesting and cool experience. I think this is classed as horror. So it definitely has that unsettling, eerie vibe to it as well, which sounds right up my street. And I'm just so excited to finally give this one a try. And I think I'm going to pick this one up this autumn when it's drizzly outside and I just want to sort of cozy up and get lost in this labyrinth of a book. And I'm so excited. So yeah, I finally have my hands on this chunky, interesting book and I cannot wait to give it a try. The next book on my stack is another popular one, and that is If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. So this is a dark academia type book, and I've seen this going around a lot online. A few years ago, I feel like when it was published, sort of it blew up and everybody was talking about it and how amazing it is, and I never ever read it. And obviously I'm so excited to finally have this one. Again, I know that it's very popular and a lot of people really like it. I don't know much about it other than that it has sort of references to Shakespeare in it, but I'm going to read you a little bit from the back. So it says, Oliver Marks has just served 10 years for a murder he may or may not have committed. On the day of his release, he is greeted by the detective who put him in prison. Detective Colborne is retiring and he wants to know what really happened a decade before. As a young actor at an elite conservatory, Oliver noticed that his talented classmates seemed to play the same characters on stage as off. Villain, hero, temptress. But when the teachers change the casting, a good-natured rivalry turns ugly and the play spills dangerously over into real life. When tragedy strikes, one of the 7 friends is found dead. The rest face their greatest acting challenge yet, convincing the police and themselves that they are blameless. Ugh, that sounds so messy and I'm here for it. Next up, we have this book, which is A Haunting in the Arctic by C.J. Cook. So I found this one and it sounded like a bit of me. If you know me at all, you know that I enjoy horror stories. I love things that are ghosty, but I also love things that are set on the sea, particularly when it's historical. So, you know, life on board those old sailing vessels and the horrors that that entails. I find that all really, really fascinating. And I thought this would be perfect to have on my shelves for when it gets a bit cooler, when it's wintry and I want something atmospheric. So it says on the back, 1901, on board the Orman, a whaling ship battling through the unforgiving North Sea, a woman awakes. Attacked and dragged there against her will, it's just her and the crew, and they're all owed something only she can give them. Decades later, the Orman is found drifting across the ocean deserted. Just one body is left on board, his face and feet mutilated, his cabin locked from the inside. Everyone else has vanished. Now, urban explorer Dominique travels into the near-permanent darkness of the northernmost tip of Iceland. She's searching for the final resting place of the Orman's wreck, and she's determined to uncover its secrets. But she is not alone. Something is here with her, and it's seeking revenge. Doesn't that sound so good? Next up, we have another horror book. So this is The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay. So I was very excited to get this because I read A Head Full of Ghosts by Paul Tremblay and I really enjoyed it. It's actually one of my favourite horror books that I've read over the last few years. So I really, really want to read more by this author and I've heard fantastic things about this one. So having a little look on the back here, it looks like we're following a 7-year-old child called Wen and their parents, and they are vacationing in New Hampshire and they're staying in this remote cabin by by a lake. And then it all starts to get a bit weird when this mysterious man appears and says to the child, none of what is going to happen is your fault. And he also says, your dads won't want to let us in when, but they have to. We need your help to save the world. All sounds a little bit bizarre. And then it says at the end, so begins an unbearably tense, gripping tale of paranoia, sacrifice, apocalypse, and survival that escalates to a shattering conclusion, one in which the fate of a loving family and quite possibly all of humanity are intertwined. Wow, it sounds like it's really tackling a lot in a not very big book, so I'll be interested to see how that plays out. But I have heard good things about this, and like I said before, I do enjoy Paul Tremblay's writing, and I have enjoyed his other books. So fingers crossed this one is also a success. Next up, we have this chunky book, and that is The Madship by Robin Hobb, of course. So this is the second book in the Liveship Traders trilogy, which is a fantasy series that I am working my way through. I am hopefully going to be buddy reading this one with my friend Nikhil over at Shelf Esteem. I will have his channel linked down below for you to go and check out. Please do go over and support him. He has fantastic content. He is a wonderful person and he reads a lot of fantasy, and he's also a musician as well. He's honestly such a talented person. I'm so lucky and fortunate to be able to call him my friend, but we will hopefully be buddy reading this one at some point soon. It is hefty though, my goodness, it is very, very chunky, this one. It's over 900 pages, so it's going to be quite an investment, but I am excited because I did really enjoy the first book in this series, and I just adore Robin Hobb's writing, and she's quickly becoming one of my favourite authors. So yeah, very excited to get stuck into this second book. Okay, so next up we have one that is a little bit different for me, and that is The Crimson Moth by Kristen Cicerelli. I'm really sorry if I'm butchering that name. I should have looked it up before I started this video, but anyway, The Crimson Moth. So I was gifted this one, and it is a little bit outside of my comfort zone because this one is, I believe, a fantasy romance. And if you know me at all, you might know that I used to really enjoy fantasy romance, but have since sort of fallen out of love with it, really. I find it really hard to connect with those stories now that I'm a little bit older and in a little bit of a different place in my life. But there have been the odd hidden gem that I have really loved. So yeah, I'm excited to give this one a try, and hopefully it is good. I've heard a lot of buzz about this book. A lot of people have been ranting and raving and saying that it is amazing on BookTube and on BookTok and places like that. So it seems to have done really, really well. So I have high hopes for this one, although like I say, I'm going to keep my expectations not too high because fantasy romance, like I said, is a bit hit and miss for me, but we shall see. And this one seems to be following a witch and a witch hunter from the look of the back. So we have a revolution going on. We also have someone who is a socialite by day, but is the Crimson Moth by night, a vigilante bent on saving her own. Her next rescue demands she caught Gideon Sharp, a notorious witch hunter and unforgiving revolutionary. So it seems like that classic trope of a witch and a witch hunter. They're keeping secrets from each other. They're having to pretend to court, I guess, maybe. I don't know. We shall see, but I'm excited to see whether this one is worth the hype or not, and to give it a try and, you know, try something a little bit different for me and to push myself out of my comfort zone a little bit. Talking of pushing myself out of my comfort zone a little bit, the next book was given to me by my mum, who read this book and really loved it. So this one is The Island of Missing Trees by Elif Shafak. Again, I'm really sorry if I'm pronouncing the name wrong. But yeah, like I said, my mum gave this one to me after reading it because she thought that I would like it. And this one is a little bit different because it is a bit more, I think it's literary and historical. Not the kind of thing that I would typically gravitate towards, but I trust my mum and I'm interested to give it a read and to have a chat with her about it as well. Honestly, I don't know a huge amount about this one other than I think it's narrated by the tree itself, which is quite unique. And I think the tree witnesses sort of generations of people living their life, maybe. I'm going to read you from the back because honestly I don't know a huge amount about this one. So it says, in 1974, two teenagers from opposite sides of a divided Cyprus meet at a tavern in the city they both call home. The tavern is the only place that Kostas, who is Greek, and Daphne, who is Turkish, can meet in secret, hidden beneath the leaves of a fig tree growing through the roof of the tavern. The tree will witness their hushed, happy meetings and will be there when the war breaks out and the teenagers vanish. Decades later in North London, 16-year-old Ada has never visited the island where her parents were born. She seeks to untangle years of her family's silence, but the only connection she has to the land of her ancestors is a fig tree growing in the back garden of their home. Ooh, interesting. I feel like this one is going to be quite moving and beautiful. I think the writing is supposed to be lovely as well. So yeah, I'm interested in that one. A little bit different for me. And yeah, I'm excited to chat to my mum about that after I finished reading it. Next up, we have a horror book. So this one is called Strange Pictures, and it's written by Yuketsu. So it says on the front, the chilling Japanese mystery sensation. So this is that author. I don't know if you've heard of them before, but they, can you see their picture there? They hide their face. They wear this creepy mask and they distort their voice and things whenever they are like giving interviews and stuff. So kind of creepy, but I'm into it. It's certainly a great publicity. But I thought this one sounded super interesting because it is a horror thriller book, but the idea is that there are these pictures and you're trying to figure out clues from within these pictures. So I'll flick through, hopefully this won't give you spoilers, but you can see that there are sort of pictures in the text and things. Can you see that? And I think you sort of have to figure out clues based on that. So on the inside flap it says, a series of drawings made by a young woman before her death, a child's disturbing picture of his home, a desperate sketch made by a murder victim in his final moments. Each contains a chilling warning. Each reveals a terrible secret hidden in plain sight. So I just think that's such a unique idea for a horror thriller mystery story. I love that it has the pictures included, and there's just something so creepy, isn't there, about pictures, particularly pictures that are drawn by children. Oh, it just really unsettles me. So yeah, I think that's going to be a fun time and I'm excited for that one. It also looks like quite a quick read as well, which might be good for if I'm feeling a little bit slumpy. Okay, we're getting towards the end now. So the next book that I have is The Book That Held Her Heart by Mark Lawrence. So this is book 3 in this series. I forget what the series is called. Is it The Book That Wouldn't Burn series? Something like that. But this is the third and final book in that series, and I added this one onto my wish list because I have the first 2 books in the hardcover, so I wanted to complete the series so that they're all matching. Have I read the first book yet? No. However, I am pretty convinced that I'm going to like this one. Oh, that really scared me then, the book's knocked over. Whew, my heart's going. Yeah, I'm pretty convinced that I am going to like this series though, because it is a book about books and I think it's supposed to have a dark sort of vibe to it. The first book is set in this massive hidden library. It just has all of the buzzwords that I'm looking for. So yeah, I'm excited to have this third one, and these covers are just so gorgeous. So I'm so glad that I have all 3 in the gorgeous hardback versions. Fingers crossed, I really love that series. And then the final 2 books that I have are a couple of Robin Hobb books, but they are the old covers that I found. So the first one is Fool's Errand, which is I think book 1 in the Tawny Man trilogy. And the other one is The Golden Fool, which I think is book 2. So I'm trying really hard to collect these old classic covers because I just think they're so much more interesting than the more modern covers, which are actually behind me here. I do quite like the modern ones in that they look quite nice together, but there's just something about these. They're bigger, they're floppier, and the artwork on them, I don't know, I feel like they're just really cool. So I like to pick up these books whenever I see them in charity shops and things and secondhand used bookstores, just to have it as my collection. So yeah, I'm obviously working my way through Live Ship Traders at the moment, which is the second series in the overarching realm of the Eldling series by Robin Hobb, and I believe this one is the 3rd series, I think, so I will be coming to this one following on from the Live Ship Traders, and yeah, I'm just excited to have them in my collection. So there we go. Those are all of the books that I got for my birthday. Let me know if you have read any of these before. Did you enjoy them? Are there any that you want me to prioritise? Let me know, because I always love to have a conversation with you in the comment section down below. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here and supporting my channel. Don't forget to like this video if you did like it, subscribe if you want to see some more from me, and I guess I'll see you next time with another video. Bye! Hello, it's me again. You can't get rid of me. I have just had some post, so I thought I would share it with you because this is another book. So I thought I might as well pop it in this book haul as a little bonus. I thought we could open it together. So yeah, this one is, hang on, see if I can get it out of the cover. This one is, of course, Silverborn, The Mystery of Morrigan Crow by Jessica Townsend. So this is the next instalment in the Nevermore series, which is a middle grade series that I haven't talked about for a long time because we've been waiting and waiting for this next book to come out. So I have actually read the first 3 books in this middle grade series, and I just think they are so whimsical, so just cozy, and it just reminds me of the fantasy stories that I grew up with when I was younger, and just takes me back to that place. And I genuinely think this is a series that is for everybody, not just for children, and I just absolutely loved the first 3 books, so I'm very excited to have this 4th book in my collection. And yeah, I just wanted to get the hardcover whilst it was in print, because I have the other ones in hardcover too. The other ones that I have pretty, yes, they have pretty designs on the actual card backs, and this one does too, which is very exciting. I actually prefer them without the dust jackets on. Look how cute this one is. The other books also have really fabulous designs actually printed on the hardcover. So yeah, I love that. Look at the dragon, so cool. And like, is it flames or is that just like a sunset sky? I don't know, but I love the purple and the orange colours. Oh, I'm so excited. So yeah, if you haven't heard of this series before, gosh, it's been a while since I've spoken about this one. But the first one follows our main character, who is a girl called Morrigan Crow. And she's about to turn, I think it's 13, but she is considered a unlucky child. So children of her age who are born on her specific birthday, I think it is, are destined to die. So she has always grown up thinking that she's not going to outlast her 13th birthday, I think it is. But when the fateful day arrives, she gets whisked away by this man called Jupiter North to this magical place called Nevermore, and she gets entered into a series of trials to try and win a place into this magic school, basically. And it's just a whimsical, fun time. Great characters, heartfelt moments, and just a magical, wonderful, happy place to be. So yeah, very excited to have this final book in my collection. And yes, now I'm really finished this time. So that is the end of this video. Thank you again. Don't forget to like and all of that stuff, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.